Now on CoastTV News.
No parking.
It would also be good for the visitors coming here and having easy access to the parking.
Rehoboth Beach ends its parking garage plans.
Inland and in need.
I think they should do something like that. Help the small businessman.
Milton's vice mayor frustrated about coastal funding priorities.
The beautiful weather we're seeing today continues into the weekend with near normal temperatures and dry conditions. I'll have your full weekend forecast details coming up next.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
Tonight we're talking parking in Rehoboth Beach. Good evening. I'm Christina DeRobertis.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 6. We begin tonight focused on Rehoboth Beach, where a committee has shut the door on a parking garage.
Parking in Rehoboth is typically tight, especially downtown and especially during the busy summer season. Years ago, a parking garage task force was created, but they hadn't met since 2019, and today they terminated that committee altogether. Coast TV reporter Brandon Ferguson is live in Rehoboth Beach. Brandon, the city says the committee just wasn't needed anymore.
Christina, you can see how packed it gets here in downtown Rehoboth Beach. Both lines of cars filled all the way to the end of Rehoboth Avenue. And in speaking with people today, they say a parking garage could ease the parking problem here in the nation's summer capital. But the city is closing the door on that idea.
Getting in your car
and heading to the nation's summer capital. But before you can hit the waves and visit the beautiful beaches here in Rehoboth, you have to park. And even when you do park, it could still be a 10 to 15 minute walk away from the beach.
That's why locals like Dennis Noonan say a parking garage would make a difference.
Keeping people away from the residential area trying to park. And it would also be good for the visitors coming here and having easy access to the parking.
The Parking Garage Task Force met Friday for the first time since 2019, but they didn't hone in on any solutions. Instead, they ended the group. Mayor Stan Mills citing that years-long gap in meetings as one of the reasons. But Matthew Feynman, who visits Rehoboth every year, wishes the city had a parking garage.
It'd be a great addition. It'd help everyone get to park. Just need to make sure that it preserves the environment that and the community that really embodies Rehoboth.
The city tells Coast TV there is no plans for a parking garage in the future, which means if you want to find a good spot, hit the avenue early, or you may end up driving in circles.
The Parking Garage Task Force wasn't the only committee that was recently terminated. The Board of Commissioners doing some house cleaning, terminating 5 total committees recently. Live in Rehoboth Beach, Brandon Ferguson, Coast TV News.
And with summer pretty much in the rear view, the paid parking season at many of our beach communities winding down in Fenwick Island, Rehoboth, Dewey, and the Bethany beaches, the season runs through Monday. Parking at the beach in Lewis, that's going to continue through September 30th and through October 31st at the Ocean City Inlet. Meanwhile, OC says the parking meters are being phased out and replaced with those online payment park mobile options. However, the switch at the inlet lot, that's not expected until next year in Ocean City. This does bring us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, would a parking garage help your trip to the beach?
Let's take a look at the updated results from last news hour. 69% say it would make things much more convenient. Only 1% say slightly better, 16% say not a big change, and 14% say it could make it worse, actually.
We do always want to hear from you. If you want to leave a comment, or if you haven't voted yet, you can go to coasttv.com or use our mobile app, and we will show you updated results on Coast TV News at 11.
Now we're looking live outside into Rehoboth Beach, and our first alert meteorologist, Bob Trihey, joins us now with a check on the forecast. Good evening, Bob.
Good evening, Christina, and we are looking at beautiful weather heading into the weekend. What a gorgeous Friday. Blue skies, some puffy cumulus clouds, and right now we're looking at temperatures in the 70s, still hanging on to 81 in Redden, 76 in Georgetown. Willard, you're checking in with 79, a little cooler at the coast. Bethany Beach 73, Rehoboth 72. As we're looking at mainly clear skies, just a few clouds farther to the north into southern parts of New Jersey. Otherwise, it's high pressure in charge. We're seeing an easterly flow around that high. Wind's not especially strong, and we'll see these winds die down into this evening. So futurecast through the evening hours, cooling from the 70s into the 60s. If you're headed out for your Friday evening activities, make sure you grab a jacket. By 11:30, we're in the low 60s, and then as we head into Saturday morning, we're looking at 50s. Could see a little bit of fog as we head into Saturday morning. Your evening planner showing the winds dying out, in fact, becoming calm, and we're looking at the potential for fog overnight. Otherwise, looking good heading into the weekend. Much more in your forecast coming up a little bit later on.
Thank you, Bob. Milton, Delaware. It's a small Sussex County town at the head of the Broadkill River. We're located there. As Coast TV News reporter Emma Aiken tells us, one official is calling for Milton to have a bigger seat at the tax dollar table.
Milton Vice Mayor Lee Revis Plank took to Facebook, posting a picture of state officials touring restoration efforts at the Indian River Inlet. In the post, Revis Plank says, quote, "Meanwhile, non-beach towns beg for financial support and their projects languish." Milton local Bill Knox says he somewhat agrees, but thinks that coastal towns generate more money and probably need it more.
Tourism is the biggest thing in Delaware. We have not many storms since we've been here. We've had a couple bad ones in my area where we got a little flooding, but hasn't impacted us as much as a coastal town. We didn't want to be real close to the coast.
We did speak with Vice Mayor Lee Revis Plank, who declined to do an on-camera interview, but reiterated what she posted online, saying she is frustrated and thinks it's unfair the way certain money is allocated. Local Scott Nelson agrees with Revis Plank's frustrations that inland towns can be neglected.
I think they should do something like that. Help the small businessman, help them out.
Some say the tide of support favors the coast, while others argue tax dollars should follow the tide of tourism. In Milton, Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
An elderly woman has been missing for more than 24 hours now in Fenwick Island. Here's the missing poster for 83-year-old Kay Klein. Police say she went missing yesterday during a beach walk near Atlantic Avenue. She was last seen around 4 p.m. wearing dark clothing. Multiple police departments and the Coast Guard have been involved in the search, and community members have also come together to try and find her. Fenwick Island's police chief urges everyone to keep an eye out on older family members.
My mother's 85 years old. We give her an Apple Watch just so if she falls or whatnot, that emergency services will be alert. But just keep, when you're out in the beach ends now, the guard coverage now is limited, so you have to keep extra special attention on your children and your elderly relatives.
And Fenwick Island police ask that everyone in the area keeps an eye out for Klein. Anyone with information should call 911 or the Fenwick Island Police Department.
This afternoon, the Trump administration submitted its legal request for a judge to allow the government to drop approval for over 100 wind turbines about 10 miles off the Ocean City coast. Today was the Trump administration's self-imposed deadline for this revocation. The filing by Attorney General Pam Bondi's office says the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management identified errors with the project's approval, referring to them as, quote, substantial concerns. This federal approval has not yet been revoked. We're still waiting for a judge to allow for that approval to be pulled.
The special committees formed to investigate statewide property reassessment will hold their first public hearing on September 30th. This comes after lawmakers passed an emergency legislation during a special session on August 12th to address issues in the first statewide reassessment that's happened in about 40 years. The hearing was initially planned for the week of September 22nd, but was rescheduled to ensure participation from Tyler Technologies. That's the company leading Delaware's first statewide tax reassessment in more than 4 decades. And we do have more on this. You can head over to CoastTV.com and check out the article right now. And we are just getting started here at 6.
Darren Wallace joins us to talk about DSN's Game of the Night and the other games you can tune into on DSN+.
Here's a live look into Lewis, 77, just a few clouds right now, and we're looking at cooler conditions this evening, and we're looking at nice weather today, and that continues into the weekend, remaining dry with near normal temperatures. Your full forecast details are coming up.
But first, at Crooked Hammock, it's the center of a takeover. Our very own chief meteorologist Paul Williams is to blame, and this time with a special prostate cancer beer. He'll join us when we're back in just 60 seconds.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
For the people who follow this newscast, you may know that our very own chief meteorologist Paul Williams is a prostate cancer survivor. And after battling cancer, he has found new ways to fight back.
Organizing an annual prostate walk at Cape Henlopen State Park, this year's event is scheduled for tomorrow, September 13th.
And Paul Williams is joining us now from the Crooked Hammock. Paul, this year's walk, it's not just about walking.
Well, this particular year, we've added a little wrinkle to the walk in that we are providing prostate-specific antigen blood testing, and it's absolutely free for whoever shows up. But right now, we're at Crooked Hammock because we're letting folks come in and sign up right now or pick up their packages if they've already signed up. What are they signing up for? Well, take a look at this. Here's the skinny on things. We have the second annual prostate cancer walk. This is giving you the opportunity to not only have an opportunity to create a community of those who are dealing with cancer, but it also allows for an opportunity for you to have some screening. Now, in addition to that, we're going to have actually a cookout afterwards and really a great deal of fellowship. But this particular time around, it's mission-minded because we want to make sure everybody has an opportunity to be screened. Now, that being the case, we also have one quick thing I want to tell you about Crooked Hammock, and that's this right here. This is the Hazy Blue Ribbon. It is a special microbrew, a New England microbrew, I'm told, by the brewmaster, and there'll be more on that tonight at 11 o'clock, by the way. And 50% of the proceeds of this is going to the walk so we can provide more screenings. So, if you can't walk, don't want to walk, and you're just not into walking, but you're into beer, you like beer, beer's your thing, all right? Then come down and get this beer so you can at least have 50% of that donated to the effort. And if you're over 40 and you're a man up and come on down and get that screening. And it's for free, so there's no excuses. I'm Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams, live here at Crooked Hammock, begging and pleading for you to get screened for prostate cancer. Back to you.
An absolutely gorgeous end to the week for Del Mar, but lots of blue skies today. Just a few little puffy cumulus clouds for decoration. Live look at the Dry Tech Cam in Ocean City. Looking beautiful out there. Light breeze, 73, and it's going to cool into the 60s this evening under mainly clear skies, but temperatures close to average this afternoon. 81 is the average high in Georgetown. Got up to 78 there. 80 in Dover, 80 in Salisbury, 82 in Easton, and Ocean City at 77. And we're going to be seeing a warming trend into the weekend. Now, Saturday, I'm expecting 79, but then we bounce it up to 83 on Sunday. Average high is around 81, so we're finally above average for a change. And then by Monday, we're back to 80, and then mid-70s, I think, Tuesday into Wednesday as we increase the clouds and maybe a chance of showers. As you heard earlier, head out to Cape Henlopen State Park as we head into tomorrow for the Walk for Prostate Cancer. Join Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams. 78, I think it's going to be cooler in the morning there. Probably into the 60s and then warming up through the day. 76 in Laurel right now, 75 in Gumboro, 73 in Ocean City. So we've got lower 70s along the coast, a little cooler there with an onshore flow, and mid to upper 70s at the beaches as we have an easterly wind right now, not all that strong, and that wind will die out as we go into this evening as we're looking at mostly clear skies, just a few clouds across southern parts of New Jersey, and any kind of daytime clouds will kind of just fade away with high pressure in place. We have that easterly flow, and this high reaches all the way back into the Tennessee Valley, keeping the bad weather away. We've got clouds and showers offshore, also clouds and showers across the Midwest. So this high will provide a beautiful weekend for the region with sun and clouds during the day, highs in the 70s and 80s, lows at night in the 50s and 60s. Futurecast this evening falling back into the 60s. In fact, by early tomorrow morning, we go from lower 60s into the 50s by Saturday morning. Watch for areas of patchy fog. It'll be a little milder at the beaches, and then as we go into late morning tomorrow morning, upper 70s, and then by the afternoon, I think we're dry, mid to upper 70s inland areas, lower 70s at the coast, and then as we go into your Sunday morning, you might need a jacket heading out to church. We're looking at temperatures into the 50s, even some 60s at the beaches, and then a mix of sun and clouds on Sunday, and I think it's going to be a little warmer into the lower 80s some places, and then by Sunday evening into the 70s. Here's our muggy meter. We're looking at comfortable comfortable conditions into Saturday, parts of Sunday. Then we'll start to increase that humidity with time, and we need the rain. It looks like our next best chance of that rain comes in maybe Wednesday afternoon, and that continues into Thursday as well. But right now, not looking like a big chance of rain. 58 tonight, clear skies, some of that fog possible late. And then tomorrow, 79, partly cloudy and mild, and then 83 on your Sunday. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast. Heading into next week, looks like Monday's the warmest day with a high of 80, mid-70s on Tuesday. Then there's a rain chance by Wednesday into Thursday with mid to upper 70s, and then 81 by Friday. And congratulations to Joe Johnstone from Lincoln, Delaware, on winning a brand new umbrella from Paul Davis and Coast TV.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Football Friday. We served you the first course on Thursday night, and now it's time for the entree. Here's a look at the football feast coming your way Friday night on DSN and DSN Plus. This week's Friday night game of the night features the two-time reigning Maryland 2A state champion Decatur Seahawks hosting Wicomico High School in their season opener. All-state quarterback Johnny Hobgood is hoping to go out with a bang in his senior year, and he'll be tasked with doing it without his top 5 receivers from a year ago. On the other side, Wahai is coming off a 5-6 season where it made the second round of the state playoffs. Their opponent in that second round playoff game, Stephen Decatur. The Seahawks walked off the field that day with a 19-14 win, but the Indians think this time things will be different. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m., and you do not want to miss that game. And don't forget to check out our other games on DSN Plus. Middletown is in Kent Island happening now. Woodbridge travels to Sussex Central at 7, and Cape Henlopen goes to Lake Forest at 7 p.m. to round out our Friday night high school football coverage. I hope you're ready for a fun night of football. Have a good night, everyone.
We talked about it earlier in the newscast. We're circling back now. Our very own chief meteorologist Paul Williams, a prostate cancer survivor, is now hosting the second annual prostate walk at Cape Henlopen State Park tomorrow. But today, Paul is trying to get people to sign up for the big event. Paul, fill us in on what you're doing.
You know what, Charlie? You should have come on down. I know you're at the set and you got to stay there and do that responsible stuff, but we're having a blast down here. In fact, come on over real quick. What you'll see is that we're sitting right now. We've got Santa Claus over there working. We've got Santa Claus working registration right now. Folks are coming in, and they're just not only that they're just registering and just enjoying to be around us right now, and we around them. The key is this. Everybody's having a wonderful time as we continue to build community around this effort, which is to provide screening for prostate cancer. And it's going to be provided for free. All you got to do is show up to the walk for tomorrow. Take a look at this. In fact, you take a look. We're looking at Cape Henlopen State Park. 8 o'clock, we'll start off with registration for those who just must wait to the very last moment. 9 o'clock, we'll have a program. And then at 10 o'clock, we'll start the walk. Come on down to Crooked Hammock. And by the way, be sure you order the hazy blue ribbon. 50% of that goes to the walk. Back to you.
All right, Paul, yeah, looking good out there weather-wise this evening, and the same for your walk tomorrow morning. Evening planner, grab a jacket. Falling through the 60s, the winds do calm down, and then tomorrow morning we're into the 50s. Remember to call the Coast TV First Alert weather phone. It's sponsored by the law offices of Brockstead, Mandalis, Federico. Paul Davis 10-day forecast. Good-looking weekend. 79 tomorrow, 83 on Sunday, a mix of sun and clouds, 80 on Monday, and then it cools down into the 70s on Tuesday as clouds increase. I think our next best chance of rain comes in Wednesday and Thursday. Warmer Friday. Right now, next weekend looking good. Mid to upper 70s, remaining dry, and then dry and mild into early next week.
All right, looks good to me. Thanks so much for joining us for Coast TV News at 6.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The NBC Nightly News is up next.
And we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 11. Have a great evening.